One of the things that makes this event, if not unique, certainly novel, is the fact that we have managed to pull together a player from every one of the Six Nations. Usually when you go to these things, certainly in my experience, you get some English guys and you might get somebody from the team that England are playing. But I've never kind of been in a room with somebody from every one of the Six Nations. And so actually, it's, in my mind at least, it's a real coup to get Luke McLean from Italy coming along on the day. Massively grateful for that. Luke, how you doing?
Yeah, thanks. Really excited about coming down and kind of catching up with everyone and getting back into Six Nations vibe. Be great to kind of get there before the game, obviously, and talk rugby, talk kind of the opening weekends, and see how everyone's panning out for the Six Nations Championship. So, look, thanks for the invite. I'm really looking forward to it.
Nah, it's going to be awesome, mate. It's going to be awesome. So 89 caps, nearly 90 caps for your country. Any standout moments in the Six Nations? A couple of home wins.
Yeah, I think obviously Six Nations. I think everyone kind of remembers the one game in England when we decided that we weren't going to put anyone in a ruck and just run around and do it. So I think, if I think of Six Nations, obviously, you can go back and look at the French games. I think, obviously, in Italy, home supporters, big wins for Italian rugby. I think, especially the first one, no one kind of saw that happening. I think Andrea Mazzi just kind of turned up and put everyone on his back himself and wheeled us across the line. The next one, there was kind of a bit of expectation or a bit of excitement around the fact that it could happen. So they were kind of two games that you definitely remember. And then obviously, the famous game in Twickenham itself, where they came out afterwards and changed the laws to stop anyone from winning the game of rugby. But I think from our perspective, it was smart. It was something different, and it almost worked, I think you could say.
Totally. And actually, I think it was super smart by you boys, but geez, were we stupid.
I think, to be honest, all week we trained it. We turned up Monday morning and coaches sat down, and next thing you know, we're doing that. Okay, are we sure about this? Like, can we actually do this? And then we went through it all week, and I still remember sitting there with George Biaggi, who was my roommate at the time, and I was like, do you think this is going to work? Like, surely, like, they're going to figure out, they're going to figure out something. And then we were trying to do it at training, and I think half the time we couldn't figure out what to do. It was it wasn't that much of a surprise that they didn't figure it out. I did think they'd probably start picking going and just going through the middle of the ruck a little bit more, but didn't happen. And I think up to about 60 minutes we were there and thereabouts, and then the last little bit kind of just couldn't hold on. A bit disappointing, but yeah.
Well, you definitely gave them a scare for at least 50 minutes. I remember that. I remember sitting, watching, going, what? I've been lucky to go to Rome. What an incredible place to go watch rugby. I went in the snow, actually. In actual fact, I said to Nicola, my wife, I said, I'm going to take you to Rome for Valentine's weekend. What a great husband. What a great husband. By the way, I've just got a couple of hours on Saturday afternoon I need to be away for. Is that all right? But
experience coming through, a little bit for you. So what you went? What you would have went? It was right. If it was snowing, that would have been the game against England.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we squeezed.
Oh yeah.
We only squeezed past you. I think Rob Shaw was skipper, and I didn't expect the game to be on, but they cleared everything. When the Italian anthem comes on, mate, that's one special place to be.
There wouldn't be too many people that can say they've been to Rome in the snow, that's for sure. So most people, but I think obviously, I think for any player to play at home, naturally there's a bit more of a buzz about it. And then I think in Rome, usually you've got nice weather, everyone's out there early, having something to eat, having something to drink. It's just usually is quite easy to play rugby there, and the fact that it's nice weather, reasonably dry the ball, you can throw it around a little bit, so teams probably enjoy that side of it. It's a big pitch, but from a player's perspective, obviously it's a great place to play. Everyone loves playing at home. I think probably for the supporting players and the supporters, they love coming out there just for the food and the wine. And yeah, that game in particular, I think that was close. I think maybe Mark Cueto was still playing for England then. They would have scored, and then Colin Benvenuti scored an intercept try, if I remember correctly, which got us there and thereabouts. But another one that kind of just slipped away. We talk about these for a while, but yeah.
I've got to say, mate, as an ex-prop, the prospect of having a pasta course and then a meat course, you can't knock that. That's a good night out.
Right, just carbo loading. That's pretty much what they do. You wake up, you have some carbs, lunch carbs, dinner carbs, and then you pass out.
So in terms of kind of Italian rugby, I mean, obviously you played for Benetton on 2 separate occasions. You ended in the Prem. Where's your assessment right now? Is the gap closing? Is the gap getting bigger? Where is Italian rugby right now, do you think?
I think if you look at kind of results, you'd say it's widening or it's staying where it is. If you look at kind of the first team and where it's at, but I think if you delve a little bit deeper, you look at Benetton, what they managed to do. I know it was kind of a reduced season last year, but they ended up winning. You can only do what you can do, and they ended up winning it. So you take that as a positive. I think Benetton's had some really good results the last few years and have kind of built some consistency. It wasn't just a one-off year and then reverting back to what was historically a team that was probably reasonably easy to beat. So I think that's kind of a positive. And then you look at the under-20s. I think the under-20s the last 3 years, that's outstanding results, beating some really big names in the Six Nations. So I think if you look at that, I think probably the foundations that were built 10 years ago, hopefully are now going to start pulling out some players that don't just succeed at under-20s, but can go on and succeed at the highest of highs. But yeah, in the meantime, obviously it's been a tough old graft. If you're a player, it was a little bit frustrating at times. If you're a supporter, I can only imagine it's 10 times more frustrating. But I think supporters have always been there. They've always stuck around the team. Everyone does try their hardest. Everyone's always there, trying to win, trying to get the best result possible for Italian rugby. I think you want to see some improvement this Six Nations. You want to probably see some close results. Running some teams to the end, especially at home. And then I think it's probably just a matter of time. Getting those under-20 boys to come through. You look at Gadabisi, number 10. Obviously a massive talent. And some of these players are now moving offshore and getting some experience in other championships as well, which can only benefit Italian rugby, which is a great thing. And you can flood some more players through in the Italian teams as well. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. So just a reminder for those of you who have seen these before, and for those of you, this is your first one. Don't watch the rest. Honestly, I'll never be a TV presenter. On the 3rd of February, we are hosting a Six Nations preview lunch in aid of the My Name'5 Doddie Foundation and the Rob Burrow MND Centre in Leeds. We're starting with a champagne reception. You'll be greeted by Big Barry McDermott, good mate, good buddy of Rob's. Jill Douglas, MBE, who's also the CEO of the My Name'5 Doddie Foundation, as well as being TV personality of the decade, and David Flatman, who's going to be our MC for the day, and will, I'm sure, be giving everybody a considerable amount of bants. We've got a stellar women's panel. So we've got Tamara Taylor, we've got Hannah Gallagher, ex-Saracen, ex-England, Gemma Rowland from Wales, Steph Johnson from Scotland, and Poppy and Bryony Cleal. Poppy Cleal, arguably best female player in the world right now. Bryony, arguably the funniest girl I've ever met in my life, and a prop. Who doesn't love a prop, right? And then on the boys panel, we've got Luke, we've got Ben Kaiser, we've got Adam Jones, we've got Brian Redpath, who might actually be substituted by Chick Chalmers, because I think he's bottling the prospect of going up on stage. Who have I missed? Rob Henderson from Ireland, and then two surprise guests. I'm not going to tell you who the England panelist is. I'm going to let you find that out on the day. And we've also got the great Zinzan Brook coming as well. So we've got a stellar panel. And then we've got all of these hosts for the tables. So we've got George Shooter, we've got Tim Stimson, we've got Nathan Hines. You'll excuse his really broad Scottish accent. You probably won't understand much of what he's on about. We've got Kenny Logan. We've got Ollie Phillips, probably the best sevens player this country's ever produced. And we've got Jack Clifford, whose career was sadly cut short, but was right up there in terms of number sevens. So it's going to be an incredible day. Tickets are still available. I have to close the sale on the 25th of January to make sure you get something to eat. But if you would like to come along, listen to all these people, you would be more than welcome. My ambition, as I've said all along, is that you all walk out of here with a smile on your face, with some food in your belly, with some joy in your heart, and with an empty pocket. If we can do all of those things, that would be awesome. We have got the other reason for getting Luke, actually, quite apart from the fact that he's our Italian panelist, is he is Totti. He is proper man Totti. Go on Google and Google Luke McLean. You will see those abs, and trust me, you're going to want to see them on the day. So,
past life, mate. The carbs. They're talking about Italian carbs. They've all caught up in the post.
Yeah, come on, stop it. So we've got a few people promising some party pieces, right? We've got Nathan Hines chasing a haggis around the room with a didgeridoo. I don't know how that's going to work. We've got Steph Johnson and Barry Mack donning their spandex to do a little bit of dancing. We've got Chick Chalmers doing Zambuca Flames. What else have we got? Oh, we've got Hannah Gallagher doing the worm, which, trust me, is just spectacular. So apart from stripping down to your budgies, mate, what are you going to do on the day to keep these guys happy?
That's probably the easiest one, isn't it? The budgie smugglers. I'll just have to not eat till the 3rd of February. Mate, I'll tell you what. Looking forward to seeing all those people, actually. But I'll be a politician now and sit on the fence and say it'll have to be a surprise. You'll have to give me some time to think through the party trick. Can be the extra one. God, there's a bit of pressure now. Put the budgie smugglers out there.
I know, right? Well, mate, like I say, just Google Luke McLean. Don't Google John McLean. That's a very different one. Anything in particular you're looking forward to on the day?
No, I think obviously just discussed it earlier, just getting back into the full rugby atmosphere and the full rugby vibe. Obviously, you've mentioned some massive names as well. People that, honestly, some of the people I've come across before, some you haven't. So looking forward to, obviously, people like, Zenbrook and some of the names you've mentioned. Then, I think 2 of the names you've mentioned were up at Sale with me as well. So catching up with a few people, and then, I think just getting back into the rugby atmosphere, getting that Six Nations vibe, being around the stadium, having a few pints, having a few drinks as well. So, looking forward.
Luke, thanks ever so much for doing this. Thanks for the video. I've just noticed that I've got tiger stripes through the window, so that's gonna look good. Thanks for doing the video. Thanks for coming along on the day. Really appreciate it. You're hosting the Disaster Care Platinum table, so big shout out to Marie Stern for taking the table. Really appreciated. Lots and lots of the property insurance supply chain there on the day. Lots and lots of construction companies as well. So even if you don't like rugby, you don't like English roast beef, you don't like red wine, then there's a good reason to come along and meet some people that you might be able to sell to. Thanks again, mate. Really looking forward to seeing you in your budgies. And I'll catch you on the 3rd.
Yeah, will do. Cheers, buddy. Look
Thanks,
forward to seeing you.